Hello and welcome to Rock, Paper, Shotgun, or should that be, welcome to Rock, Paper, Shotgun. And if you don't know what that little ditty is, you will soon, as it plays about every 5 minutes in Persona 4 Golden. If you've watched the PC gaming show or seen the Steam leak that happened earlier this week, you'll know Atlus's legendary JRPG is out now on PC. I've had the game for a couple of days to put together a very quick review to show existing fans how it looks and runs on PC and explain why you should play this exceptional JRPG, even if the port is a little bit bare bones. I'll admit I've played only the first few hours, having pumped many weeks into the game when it first came out on PS Vita in 2012. And those humble tech origins are important context to understand when you approach this port. The Vita game itself was an expanded version of the original Persona 4, which was actually a late-in-the-day PlayStation 2 game. Did this really come out in 2008? All my memories of that time consist of burying money in my back garden as the banks exploded. Anyway, the point is, Atlus are working from some relatively basic building blocks when it comes to the game's visuals. I'll be honest, some of this looks pretty grim in a modern light, blown up to 4K on a massive screen. Backgrounds are sparse, the world is noticeably blocky, and there are some profoundly ugly textures. Maybe it's biting satire on the mundane nature of small-town living. This is set in a rural town called Inaba, but some of this stuff is straight up hellscape. Get into the dungeons, which are randomly generated, and the level tiles used to build them seem especially empty and bland at this scale, though it's probably more noticeable if you've just played Persona 5, where dungeons were radically improved. More annoyingly, there's also a strange smeariness to movement when there's a static camera, which gives the impression of a game desperately trying to keep up with its smoother frame rate. That's not to say it's a disaster though. Persona 4 is stylised enough that it gets away with simplicity. Characters have an almost doll-like quality to them that looks fine at a high resolution, and a lot of the environments are more focused on capturing a sense of small-town atmosphere than rendering a staggering photorealistic world. I've long thought that Persona 4 feels like a hazy memory of a time and place, so those chunky streets aren't too much of an issue, and much of the time you're looking at these gorgeous character drawings anyway that bring to life the conversations way more than the gesticulating of the on-screen puppets. I'm slightly more disappointed that the sound hasn't been cleaned up. There's a dullness to the dialogue that shows its age. Not the writing itself, it's a beautifully localised game with heaps of character. I actually think it's much better written than Persona 5, but I'm talking about the audio quality itself. Thankfully, the background music doesn't suffer in the same regard. This is every bit the toe tapper you remember it to be. And if you are new to it, you'll come away with hours of new earworms. Or if you're unlucky, you'll only remember the department store jingle.
Everyday young life to Netflix.
So, as a port, Persona 4 Golden isn't going to reinvent the game for those that already know it, but as an opportunity for PC owners to discover one of the best JRPGs of all time, it's very much worth it. The magic of the Persona series lies in its weird soup of social simulation and JRPG dungeon exploring. It's a game about navigating two nightmare realms, a world of psychological dungeons inside your television where fears manifest as monsters, and school, where fear manifests as wedgies and those terrible chalk ices you get for pudding. By day, you steer your hero around his timetable, using limited time to focus on building social ties, getting a part-time job, or just swatting up for your exams. Everything you do benefits you in the grander dungeoneering. Improved friendship with party members unlocks new combat assists, improving your personal stats lets you perform more activities in the outside world, a Saturday job salary buys equipment and potions, and developing social ties with Inaba's resident oddballs lets you evolve better monsters. Monsters? Yes, monsters. or technically, personas. In the dungeons, combat takes on a decidedly Pokemonish tone as you enlist colourful demons and build a squad with elemental strengths needed to exploit other weaknesses. Hitting a weak spot gives you a bonus turn, and generally combat becomes about trying to dominate the turn order with these extra moves. I've always found Persona 4 quite tight with items, especially those regenerating SP that gives you your elemental magics, so a lot of it is about finding efficiencies. Efficiency is key to the whole game, in fact. Inaba is being terrorised by a serial killer who strikes at their victims on the fog following a heavy rain. This creates a strict countdown in the dungeon realm. If you don't save a victim-to-be by the deadline, it's game over. All of a sudden you have to make every visit to the dungeon count, or weigh up social activities in the evening against the need to get on with the rescue. The way that one half of the game feeds into the other, but also hinders it at the same time, creates this brilliant pressure. In fact, one of my favourite things about the series is the huge surge of relief when you've got a dungeon beat and you can just enjoy life with your pals for a few peril-free weeks.
Ohayo.
And it works because you do want to spend time with these people and these places. I'll always prefer Persona 4's Inaba to Persona 5's Tokyo. It's a much smaller world to explore, but it means you become quite fond of its quirks. It taps into some of that Shenmue magic in this regard. I also prefer the story. There's a Scooby-Doo vibe to a gang of plucky kids ganging together to unmask a killer. Persona 5's high-level conspiracy suits the high stakes of the big city, but I formed a greater attachment to these more relatable lives. I do hope they bring Persona 5 to PC too, as it does improve on this in many ways. I miss the sheer arrogance of its interface and deeper combat mechanics, but as a subtler introduction to this universe, Persona 4 Golden is a worthy addition to any PC JRPG fan's library. And that's Persona 4 Golden in a nutshell. Sorry we couldn't dig deeper into the game, but it's massive, a good 70 hours or so, and we have heaps of fake E3 stuff to cover. If you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this review of Persona 4 Golden for PC, and let me know what other Atlas ports you'd like to see on PC. I'd love a VR version of the underrated medical thriller Trauma Center. I'd also love it if you subscribed by hitting that big button and watching some of our other recent reviews, both on screen now. Thanks for watching Rock Paper Shotgun, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye!